Now our book details is actually functional, but what we did is not the optimal approach. Let me explain why. If I go back to the details here, we are working on book view model. We examine the book view model that has book, and it also has a drop down for publisher. Are we using publisher on the book details page? We are not. The only property from book that we are using is book title to display what book we are adding details to. So even though in this scenario book view model is functional, it is not the correct way. What we should rather be using is the book detail that we have. Because in book detail, we have the book navigation property that we can populate, and there we can display the book title. So when you are working with EF Core, there will be navigation properties from book to book detail and book detail to book. When you select what model to use for the view, you have to be careful with that. Even if the other model or view model will work, it does not necessarily mean that you are writing optimal code. So let me make our code more optimal. Now when in the details if the book ID is null, then we directly return not found. Else we will create a book detail object and we need to populate the book inside book detail. So this particular logic looks good. But for the book detail, we don't need that because our obj itself is book detail. That looks good for the get here. When we are posting, we will be getting a book detail object. When we get the book detail directly, we do not need this mapping. Let me go to the detail view here and we will modify this. It will not be view model. It will be models.bookDetail. Now in book detail, we do not need create or edit here, so I can remove this. We will only display book details. For the hidden property, we need the book ID and the book detail ID. Perfect, looks good. Let me scroll down where we have the book.bookDetail. This is no longer needed because we are not working with the view model. And for the button here, we only need the update button, not the create. So perfect, that looks good. So now we have the book ID and book detail ID. When we post, that will automatically be populated. We no longer need to do the manual mapping. And when we are adding our obj is book detail itself, same goes for update. Perfect. Now this looks much cleaner. Let me run the application and see if that works. We go to book here, details. Let me try to update here. We have an exception. We forgot that. This will directly be the book detail ID. Let me run that once again. We go to book detail and update that to all 2. Perfect. That is working. So it is easy when you are in the programming flow to use a wrong view model. So whenever you start programming or think about a model and how to edit and update, make sure you analyze on what exactly you are doing. That was my main reason to introduce you the faulty way and then to show you how to do it correctly.